I think there's definitely a sort of British tradition that makes us feel that we have to repress how we feel and our failures and not let people in to things that we feel maybe if they saw that they would see a weakness and they would go with someone who was stronger. And I guess our relationship with strength, of what that means, is warped from school. From school age, we're raised to believe in these characters that don't really exist, who are able to weather any storm and come out of it completely unchanged. And when have you ever read a story where the character does no changing in the entire story?
Exactly.
Doesn't. No.
That's the thing, and it's about showing that real self, where people really begin to understand who you are. They want to work with you. They want to buy your products. They want to support you. They want to learn more from you. And I think that's a challenge that so many people need to go through on their personal journey. Let's get more back into your journey. So you're part of the band.
Yeah.
And then you realize, you know what, I'm not the front person.
Yeah.
This isn't for me. Mm-hmm. So then tell me about what happened next.
Well, once the band life was over, I came back to Liverpool feeling, I'd had like a rock star life, and there is no place that people like me can go that kind of gives you advice when your celebrity lifestyle comes to an end. What do you do then when you chose to go down that path rather than university? Suddenly, when you think of ordinary jobs, and I'm saying ordinary like this because for me, in that ego mode, any other job is going to be ordinary. And my ego was pretty much huge.
Took up the whole space.
So I came back to Liverpool, and nobody knew, because it was still in the days where internet was, it was there, but it wasn't like a thing like this now. And so nobody knew just how much we'd done over there. But when I'd go to the pubs and the clubs and I'd be telling people about that, I was very aware that people are probably thinking, yeah, whatever. As if, what? No. Mike Tyson in your music video? No way. So I could hear all these sorts of things, and I knew I'm making myself the butt of the jokes around here because they can't verify this. Or, since then, obviously, I've rectified that situation and people can see a lot of the things that I did. But back then, it was a very complicated thing. The record label closed in a big heap of nonsense. There was a whole heap of things going on over there, which we won't go into right now, but it makes an interesting read, by the way.
You put that in the book.
I put that in the book. But when I got back, I just thought, I didn't know what to do with myself. I'd always thought I was going to tread this path. And I sunk into perhaps a year of dreadful depression. And what I was doing in that depression phase is I got into a job that paid a lot of money, but it wasn't anything to do with music, because my heart was broken with music. I could not even be around it. I couldn't listen to certain music. It was so much of a trigger.
Wow.
I couldn't bear that thing at all. And I'd completely isolated myself because my career was so important. I'd let all my friends and my families just fade out. Wow. So when I came back, after being part of a group, we're always doing everything together, and now we've disbanded, but suddenly I'm completely alone. All of my friends have moved on. They've got new friends. They've got relationships. They've got people who matter. And I feel like my ego is telling me, I'm not going to go trying to beg to be someone's friend. And, so I then isolated myself again. You gravitate towards the relationships with bad men and bad people.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went through a very dark patch for about a year where I still put on the facade. I lived in the penthouse, but I was eating beans. If you open my cupboard, supermarket brand beans is what you would find. So basically on the outside, I looked like I had everything. I had the clothes, I was working it. It was a complete lie. And I think when we were talking earlier on, before we started recording, I think we talked about all of this, but that's a real moment where watching people go home after my parties, after I'd facilitated the party.
Wow.
They'd all go home, leave me with the mess. I'd be alone with the mess. Everyone goes back to their loved ones, their husbands, their children. And I'd be like, all right, so this is my life. It's bereft. It's got nothing in it.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to figure out that there must be a way that you can earn the money that you want to earn. You can achieve the goals that you've got for your career, but you can also be happy. You can be yourself. You can believe in something, some sort of message. It's got to be more than just making money, because what is that? Once you really analyze it, what is it? You know, so, and that I think is the point where I thought, right, I need something meaningful. I need to be able to make a living out of something that fires me up and something that connects me to other people again.
It's so true, because I've been there too. You know, I had the career, I had like, you know, this dream job where, you know, I remember going in at being, well, one, just being absolutely dreading the fact of having to go into work every single day, and absolutely miserable and feeling like you're just out there just existing, like you're not even living, like you're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And, you know, making money, you know, putting up a front, like everything's great and everything's wonderful. And, you know, like you're living the dream. But the reality is doing something that, you know, working somewhere you don't really believe in, doing things that you don't really understand, you know, why you're doing this as a job. You don't enjoy the people that you're working around. You're not enjoying the environment that you're in, you know, being in a toxic environment. And then, you know, socially, you know, having a massive circle of people who aren't really going to check for you at the end of the day and aren't looking out for you. So a very superficial way of living. And it was such an empty existence. And I knew that I had to do something about that. I knew that that didn't align to who I was as a person, my values, what I wanted to do. And yeah, you reach that point where it's just like, something's got to change.
Yeah.
Because I should be doing something where I love doing it. You know, I didn't want to be one of those people that was just, you know, waking up, going into a job that they absolutely hated, and, you know, collecting a paycheck, going home and doing it all over again. I knew that there had to be something more.
Yeah.
And it's a risk, sort of, you know, leaving that life, or, you know, leaving something that where it's complacent, and you're comfortable, in order to sort of take that leap.
Yeah.